Experience tranquility. Pass into the iris.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Iris Podcast After Dark Edition. I am Mr. Yeti. Joining me tonight, we have the triumphant Train and Apathy, who agreed to do this, perhaps foolishly, after their match tonight, which ended up taking just over 3 hours. Train, Apathy, how are you guys feeling?
I am exhausted. I have been in this office working since 8:30 in the morning, and it is now midnight. And now I'm going to be here for another 45 minutes, half an hour, whatever. So happy to be here.
Happy
but
to be here.
Ready for bed.
Apathy, you in the same boat?
I don't have to be sarcastic. I hit my peak energy level usually at 2 a.m. I'm completely chilling.
Apathy's good to go.
Yeah.
He's got at least an hour of TFT after this. So
Probably Pokemon.
Oh, we got a Natter raid. Thanks, Natter. Appreciate you, buddy.
He's got League Pugs to run.
All right, guys.
I've played this forever.
Before we start talking about Season 8, which is I know why everybody's here is talking about Season 8, we're going to talk a little bit about what just happened here in the preseason. Obviously, you guys just saw the fantastic Discord finals, but we're going to start with talking about our first finals here. Our first days were the finals here. Starting in the NA Harmony tier, we had not Ghostly Peppers. It's a very different GP team. Galactic Penguins taking on the Koala Kings in that matchup. Train, what was your take on that?
Fascinating. I expected a little bit of a closer game than it ended up being, honestly. But I think Galactic Penguins kind of came out swinging and proved a lot of people in the audience very wrong very early on, which is always a good sign.
Excuse my scuffed setup here. I'm very sorry about that. Any other takes on NA Harmony tier before we keep going? I know you had a few more written down.
Yeah. I am exhausted. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
Overall, kind of sticking with that new team to the tier theme, I think all the new teams in Harmony generally had very good showings in the preseason. Nemesis barely loses to Doodles in the early rounds. Geometric takes Koala Kings to map 5 in round 1, who eventually fall in the finals. So some pretty big things that we've seen out of these new teams, and some really impressive showings early on. Makes for an exciting tier going forward.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Galactic Penguins, on your big preseason win. Let's go over to our friends across the pond, our debut in EU, Apathy, the Harmony EU tier. Give us your take on that.
Well, with only 4 teams, it did go by pretty quick, and it really just looked pretty dominant from Scrimbucks. They looked very, very strong with an ability to play a variety of comps to a really high level, and I think they solidified themselves as the team to be in the EU region for the Harmony tier here.
They definitely look strong, no question about it. EU Scrimbucks put up a 4-0 dominant win over the Venice Vipers. Congratulations, EU Scrimbucks, on that. Let's go now to the Discord tier, which we just had. Train, I mean, obviously, it was a 7-map banger. It was a hell of a match.
Yeah, it really was. And I grit my teeth. You just kind of do your best and you try to survive. And I think Spuds came out swinging. So them and just like a lot of the other teams throughout the rest of the Discord tier, in this preseason tournament, I think we've seen some pretty strong implications. There's pretty strong suggestions that it's going to be a close tier near the top. CC and Spuds, obviously very close from our last match, but Quokka, Domination, Firefight all seem to be kind of up there and vying for a title this season.
All right. And then congratulations to the Cosmic Castaways, the 4-3 win over the SEAL Team Spuds in that finals. Apathy, wrap us up here in the Transcendence tier. Was Manifest taking on newcomers Epizeuxis.
Manifest put up a really good showing throughout the whole tournament. They showed a lot of mental resilience, and every single one of theirs went to like at least map 5 or 6 in the case of the finals. But at the end of it, Epizeuxis, their aggression and their rush comp, they were always ulting first. They were just outpacing everybody in the tier, it looked like. I'm a little hesitant to declare any favorites for the tier just because we did not see a lot of top teams from previous seasons or just rosters that look very good participate this preseason. But Epizeuxis Manifest definitely looking to be near that top conversation still.
Absolutely. It was a great match. Congrats, Epizeuxis, winning that preseason. Now, it's always worth mentioning that there is a theoretical preseason curse out there that teams who win the preseason, I believe we've only ever had one of them win the actual tournament itself, if I recall. Is that correct, Apathy? I think it was season 6 flashbacks, right?
No, that would have been season 5.
Season
But
5
I thought it
flashback.
happened
I'm
again
sorry.
in season. I thought flashbacks won preseason season 7.
They did. You're right. So flashbacks are the only exception to that, but we don't have any flashbacks this season, it seems. So
Yeah.
we will see if that curse comes to fruition for these teams. But preseason is an optional tournament, and the optional tournament is now over. And now we get to talk about season 8 as it sits in front of us. We have a grand total of 84 teams across 4 tiers in 2 regions ready to take each other on. The biggest season we've ever had in Tranquility. And of course, we're going to start it off in our Harmony tier. We're going to be talking about each of the groups and talking about our favorites in each of these groups. And we're going to start off in Harmony tier in the NA region, Orem Pool A. You're looking at Fighting Potatoes, Chrysalis, Koala Kings, Lightspeed, Nemesis, and Strix. Lots of names in that pool. No question about it. Apathy, who's your favorite coming out of that group?
I'm still looking at Koala Kings, maybe Strix. I think those are the clear top 2. And I could even see, a weird situation where Strix wins in the head-to-head, but Koala King is like a better map record overall. Something like that. I think Koala Kings is the favorite for that pool, though.
Let's get now over to Orem B. Orem B, you have Abstract, Fahrenheit 972. You have Boop, Luminous Foxes, Fire-Breathing Rubber Duckies, and the Big Bang Buccaneers. That's a lot of words for 6 teams. Train, who's coming out on top out of that group of 6?
I went with the Fire-Breathing Rubber Duckies here. I think, I spent a lot of time watching codes between podcast prep, believe it or not. And from what I could see, FBRD kind of had the strongest team identity and team play style that I think the earlier that gets developed, the more they get to refine that throughout the season. And so it's a really good sign to see them begin that process so early. So my hopes are with FBRD.
On the Indigo A and the NA Harmony pool, that is a lot of words to say at 11 o'clock 12:15 for you Eastern Standard Time, folks. Indigo Pool A is a pool with a lot of newcomers, a little bit of unknowns perhaps. Steam, Frost Nova, Turbo Throwers, Squall, Amateur Professionals, and the Gehenna Gatekeepers. Apathy, very interesting pool. Who's coming out on top here in your opinion?
There's so many new teams, it's hard to say anything but Frost Nova without taking a shot in the dark. But my gut says out of those new teams, with absolutely nothing to base it off of, just pure guessing, which worked for me a couple times last season.
True, I do love guessing.
I'm looking at Steam, but my head says Frost Nova.
All right. And last but not least, Indigo Pool B is going to be Jersey Boys, Doodles, Wildfire, Geometric, and the Galactic Penguins and Voltage. Interesting crew. Who do you think is coming on top here, Train?
Could have taken the easy answer in Galactic Penguins. But, the Jersey Boys hopium has to start somewhere, and it's starting with me this season. They were so close last season. This is their year. Okay, I'm a Jersey boy now, and I'm buying a shirt. That's the point.
Oh, you moved?
Hey, it's eventually my leadership in the Jersey Boy fan club is gonna add up to something, and I feel like now is probably the time. Let's move on now. We're going to talk about more groups here before we'll swing back around to the tiers again. Let's go over to the EU side. So we have two groups over there, a Pool A and a Pool B. And we're starting off in the A pool here. You got Thunderbolt Rewind, A10 Esport, Feeders United, Acer, Orthus, and Apollo. Apathy, who's coming out on top out of this group?
I don't even think we maybe saw one of those teams in the preseason. So I got to go with my gut, and one of the teams has a food logo, and my gut likes food, so I'm going Feeders United.
Food is good. Food is good. I mean, that's the thing with the EU is we really don't know a lot coming in. Right now, all we know is that EU Scrimbucks looked really good in the preseason. Speaking of EU,
A10 tweets in French, and that's cool.
that's pretty cool too.
That is pretty cool.
I'm looking forward to seeing what these EU teams bring to the table. Pool B, again, EU Scrimbucks are there, but you also have Hellhounds, Clueless, Paid to Win, Snubble Gold, and Venice Vipers. Train, who's coming out of this one?
I took the easy answer this time and picked EU Scrimbucks. Preseason finals, they just looked simply a tier above their competition. I think the other team played them closely at times, really, really well, made some clever adjustments, and had some very strong moments. Scrimbucks, though, I think reacted very well and had some really solid plans going into the maps.
Mm-hmm.
So they seem to have just kind of, again, a developed identity and the success to kind of back it up already as well.
Let's take it now into the Discord tier you guys are quite familiar with, of course. The Orem A pool is a pool, perhaps I would say it's got a lot of names that we've previously seen here in Tranquility, which is going to make, I think, for a very interesting pool. You got Renegades, you got Domination, Firefight, Monarch, Valkyrie, and Storybook Heroes. So a couple of new teams, but a couple of old faces. Who's going to come out on this one, Apathy?
Wait, say him again? I thought. Did
Yeah.
I prep wrong?
Firefight, Renegades, Domination, Monarch,
okay.
Valkyrie, and Storybook Heroes.
Sorry.
All
I
good,
had
all good.
Firefight, and I didn't hear you say that. Oh, man. Maybe I am actually tired than I thought. Yeah, I put down Firefight. I think that they have their preseason attempt was not really their real roster. And I think they're starting to solidify and find that roster now, and they've got a lot of talent on it. So I'm looking at them to come out ahead of this group.
Much to the chagrin of members of the chat, it seems Firefight is the prediction to come out on top here. Taking it over to the Orem B pool, and this pool, as much as the previous one had a lot of familiar names, this one is the exact opposite. Other than Quokka Queens, 5 brand new teams of Tranquility, not necessarily old faces, or not necessarily new faces, but new teams nonetheless. You got Oath, you got Regicide, Drakes, Frost Surge, Quokka Queens, and the Cosmic Castaways, your preseason champions. Train, where do you stand here?
This group to me feels like the battle of alliterative team names between Cosmic Castaways and Quokka Queens. Those are really the names I recognize the most. Some players I recognize. Apathy is in there somewhere, I think, as well. And I picked CC leading that just purely as a result of their win over Quokka Queens in preseason. But I think, again, with so many new teams, there's always potential. I could see Regicide popping up here and there, Drake's maybe as well. So again, another kind of wide open pool here.
All right, Indigo A, we got Inferno Foxes, Rift, Rampaging Inferno, SEAL Team Spuds, Ragnarok Fenrir, and Joey Esports. That's 4 teams who've been around for quite a long time. Between Inferno, SEAL Team Spuds, Fenrir, and Joey, with newcomers Rift and Rampaging Inferno. Apathy, who do you got coming out of this pool tonight?
This was the first one with teams that we knew of, that we had to really think about. And I think it's very interesting. I think in terms of who's going to win the pool, it's probably Spuds, though I can definitely see Joey beating them and winning the pool. But especially if we're talking about playoffs, because playoffs, who's going to stay in the season the longest, playoff Joey is just so terrifying. But I guess in terms of the technical question, winning the pool, I think will be Spuds.
Right. I do have. I mean, Joey Esports it's a long-standing meme in Tranquility that we always sleep on them. So if you really want to sleep on Joey Esports, might I recommend hitting !store in the chat. You go to shop.spreadshirt.com/OW Tranquility. You can actually pick yourself up a pair of Joey Esports pajamas. That's right, Joey Esports pajamas. If you're really interested in sleeping on Joey Esports or any of your favorite Tranquility teams, head over there, pick yourself up some Joseph Electronic Sports PJs, or really whatever you want. You can pick up some t-shirts, coffee mugs, water bottles, stickers, and oh so much more. And everything that you contribute over there, all that money that we get goes right into Cavalier's pocket, and he buys alcohol with it. And by that, I mean he takes every penny that goes into that. It all goes back into the community in the form of giveaways. So we do appreciate all the support because it comes right back to you. So if you're interested, I'm sorry, go on.
No, you go first.
No, you go first. I insist.
I was talking about. I have been put to sleep by members of the Joey roster in playoffs, so I don't think I will ever sleep on Joey. They have put me to bed.
Sounds like you already have.
They tucked me in very, very hard. They did not kiss me goodnight.
And yes, the storefront does permit customization. So if you want to customize your stuff, you certainly can do that. All right, and Indigo B, now that we've stalled enough for the store plug, Indigo B pool, that is going to be a pool made up of really a bunch of kind of unknowns, just to be straight honest. You got Hammerhead, brand new team. You got Poseidon, returning team, new roster. You got Oreo Fleet, a team brand new, lots of old faces, but a very new roster nonetheless. Redacted, returning some of their team, but a different looking team nonetheless. You have Alta 4, looking like the same team, but that team didn't do too hot last season, but looking maybe different this season. And you have Space Created, another new team. Train, where are we looking on this one?
I went for 2 criteria here. First one was mascot. Second one was number of Trank championships in the last one season their players had won. So I picked Oreo Fleet because Oreo is cute as hell, and he is the best mascot so far. He or she, I'm not sure.
True.
And they have concept. You know, how can you not love concept? You know, my favorite. I love concept.
That's the Discord tier for now, guys. Again, we'll swing back through the pools a little bit more here in just a bit. Let's go to the Transcendence tier next, though. Transcendence tier, you got Aurum A, and Aurum A is Reckless Sigma, your preseason champions, Epizeuxis, Brimstone, Phoenix, Battalion, and Vengeance. So pool with again, Transcendence tier has got a lot of unknown teams. I feel like this is a pool full of unknowns. Who do you coming out with on this one, Apathy?
Battalion is perennially a slow starting team, so I'm going to give it to Epizeuxis. They are the opposite of slow. They play very, very fast, and I think they're going to take this pool.
Aurum B is a very, very interesting group as well. Lots of names in this pool, although at least one of them is changing. Manifest, Orbit, Devil Dukes, Throwing Her Bad, Insidious, and SS Cuttlefish unfortunately did just pull out. So Team 24 will fill that spot. We don't know who that is yet, but we'll be adding them soon. I think they're working on that pretty much as we speak. But we have lots of teams here. Train, who's coming on top?
Yeah, I think this is actually probably one of the closest groups in the whole Trank tournament, like just on paper from what little we know preseason. For me, you know, the names Devil Dukes, Throwing Her Bad, Manifest, all like Devil Dukes and Manifest, very successful runs in the preseason tournament. Throwing Her Bad just kind of has a roster that you would expect to do great things. So you know, I'm kind of taking a risk here. I'm going to say Throwing Her Bad because I believe that eventually they will just flip the switch and decide to win every single game for the rest of the season.
Apathy. We're going to go to you for Indigo A. Indigo A is Zeus, Fahrenheit 214, Danger Close, one of the newer teams, Meraki, Carnage, and a team that I'm personally a fan of, the Yellow Yetis. Apathy, where are we coming out of this one?
This one's a really tough one. I think the only one that we know really anything about, at least in terms of Trank players that I'm aware of, is Carnage, a couple former Domination players. But I would love to see Meraki or Yellow Yetis take this pool and turn out to be a contender in Transter.
I would also love to see the Yellow Yetis as a contender. Just saying. Uh, let's take it over to Indigo B. Indigo B, your last pool we're gonna cover right now. That's Decapitators. That's Rat Society. You have Puerto Rico, NYAA, who also has removed themselves from the tournament, but we already have a team replacing them as well because we had lots of teams on the wait list. Everybody wanted to get in here. You got Arcadia or Reckless Arcadia, and you have Uzumaki. Train, where do you stand on this pool?
I went decaps, and I think it's a pretty easy choice for me from where I sit right now. Decaps was scary last season, but their revamp is terrifying. Like they're bringing up DNA from Discord tier, who I believe was voted best off tank in Discord tier last season and won the tier with Reminiscence. Some surprise faces out of Voltage in the support line, and Charybdis returning as well. And you've got Smugs and Andy behind the controls, or in the booth, I should say. I guess the people behind the curtain, the coaches,
They're
Coaches.
puppeting them,
The coaches.
the puppeteers, like the coaches.
Smugs.
The
Okay,
coaches.
Smugs and Andy.
marionetting.
Okay, whatever. You know,
Worsted.
I'm doing my best out here. But yeah, honestly, it's hard for me to dream up a team that I trust more on paper and that looks more fun to play with. So, decaps for sure.
All right, we've broken down all the pools coming up in competition. Again, this is just your stage 1 pool, guys. If you're sitting there thinking like, man, they didn't predict my team, relax. Stage 2 is just 5 weeks away. We'll be right into stage 2. That's right. It moves quickly here. You get through stage 1, event week, stage 2, boom, playoffs in like 2 months, y'all. So we're kind of things are gonna get going here real quick. So everybody just calm down. Go tweet about it if it upsets you. Don't write a tweet longer because nobody actually reads those. But just calm down and everything will be just fine. But speaking of calm down, we're gonna do the opposite of that right now. We are going to go into a segment where I come up with this innovative concept that nobody else has ever come up with called the lightning round. I know nobody's ever come up with that before, but basically I'm going to be hitting these guys with some quick questions here, just asking them really fast, what do you think of this situation in each tier? What do you think of this? What do you think of that question? Boom, bada bing, bada boom. I'm really tired, guys. It's like 11:30. I have work in like 7 hours, but we're still vibing here. We're going to get this going with our lightning round, and that was a lot of talking. We're just start in the Harmony tier NA, and we're asking the question, who is your absolute favorite across the entire tier? Apathy, who do you got?
I just think that you can't count the Koala Kings out. They have a lot of experience losing preseason and then dominating in the playoffs. So I think it's still them. I believe Navino is getting pulled off that roster. They just have a lot of improvement to be made from here on out.
They're gonna get a lot better once he's off that
Getting
roster.
significantly better.
Yeah, they just got the improving by subtraction on that one.
Players will not have to play deafened anymore.
Sure.
They can finally hear.
They can finally hear. Train. Who do you got in this one?
I agree with Koala Kings just because there's no nostalgia team to pick. But tier feels more wide open than ever. So KK, but it could go anyway at this point.
Who's a team that's not necessarily the immediate favorite? You could see rising up being the dark horse as the season goes on. Start off Apathy. Go ahead.
I like FBRD a lot. They've got a really solid core 6 players. None of them are lacking or SR anchors. None of them are hard carrying and backpacking. They've just got a really solid core and some great coaching behind them. So I'm looking at fire breathing rubber duckies.
Train, who do you got?
I went Frost Nova. The roster pieces seem pretty good, relatively unknown. I could see them making some moves.
All right. A lot of new teams. What's the team that's new that you're most curious to watch here? Apathy, go ahead.
I'm looking at Geometric. They've got a couple players from Koala Kings previously. They're kind of marsupial adjacent. I believe they won League 0 or some sort of the tournament that all the marsupial players play in. They won that recently. So looking at Geometric.
And Train, who you got here?
I went with the Gehenna Gatekeepers. I don't know who they are, but I'm really curious why they're guarding the gate so carefully.
And where is
Uh,
Gehenna?
is it a place? Is it a thing? Is it an idea? So I'm curious to see how they figure that out.
It's true. All those things are true and valid statements. Apathy, early MVP favorite player coming out of the Harmony tier. Who do you got?
I'm going with a kind of a random one. I think PVB Baller, or PVB as he may have shortened to, on Strix is going to be a favorite. I think he, inverse of FBRD, he puts the team in his backpack a lot from what I've seen in scrims with him and from what I've heard from players on that org. So PVB is my pick.
Train, what about you? Who do you got?
I'm realizing now that I've said too many good things about the marsupial orgs. But,
it's gonna the Vito's head is gonna get bigger somehow.
Of a player on the fly.
I picked Sergeant Pepper. You know, I don't know. I like Koala Kings. I like Sergeant Pepper. Great performances, fun to watch. So there you go. There's my vote. You earned it.
All right. All right. Something a little later. Your favorite logo across all the whole Harmony tier and a Apathy. Who do you got?
First and probably only time I'll be biased, BBB, but maybe I like Abstract as well.
Big Bang Buccaneers. Abstract's logo's good too. Big Bang Buccaneers, Apathy. Train, what about you?
I went with Lightspeed. I was just looking through the list of logos and it actually caught my eye. So well done, Lightspeed.
All right. Last but not least,
Is that the same Lightspeed? Sorry.
it's a same group.
Cool.
And then Apathy, your favorite team to watch. Which team just makes you happy to enjoy and you get to watch them on stream?
I mean, I'm not sure what their rebuild, but I'm hoping it'll be Luminous Foxes again, and we can keep beating that dead horse for as long as possible. Just got to get all the mileage out of that horse, write it on, write it as a tax write-off maybe, and just keep using it as long as we can.
So the handouts from Luminous Foxes still coming in for you, or?
Yeah, I mean, in all seriousness, I think they'll probably have a fun roster. I think one of their DPS players, if they still have him, is named Garchomp, and that's pretty sick.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Kind of
All right, Train, what's your favorite team to watch?
Oh, BBB, of course, Big Bang Buccaneers, my one and only. I take time out of my week to go watch them feed off cooldown. It's so fun. I love them so much.
Well, with their tank, with their main tank Jewish missile
on the sticks,
yeah. They're gonna feed quite a bit. So, all right, let's take it over to the EU side now. Again, we don't know a whole lot about a lot of these players and teams, so we're kind of working on a little bit of a little bit of just word of mouth, a little bit of what we've seen so far in preseason. Who's your tier favorite? Apathy, go ahead.
I think it would be tough to say anybody but Scrimbucks.
Seems fair to me. Train, you?
I agree. Same reasons as before, Scrimbucks for sure.
Team you're watching, Dark Horse. Who's out there that you see might sneak into this one?
I'm looking at Clueless. I think if you look at their roster sheet, it's usually a sign of two things. They've got a ton of locked players who are high SR and one or two SR anchors. And that the positive way to look at that is that they're a Dark Horse team, and we'll leave it at that.
All right. Train, what about you?
I went with Paid to Win, and we saw them a little bit in preseason. So, one of the few teams I know a decent amount about in Harmony tier EU. So hoping for some good things. They had a really good performance first round.
And your early MVP favorite in the EU, Apathy, who do you got?
I liked watching Aiden a lot on the EU Scrimbucks during that feature match. Yeah. Playing Ana with Farah is sometimes a bit of a struggle because you have a bit less peel. He was doing a lot. He seemed to have a lot of fangirls in chat.
That's big.
Gotta be my MVP favorite.
The fan support is huge there, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Train, what about you?
I went with two Madre. One, because the name is amazing and hilarious and well done. And the other is because every second the camera went to them on broadcast, they were killing 2 or 3 every single fight. So pretty hard to ignore consistency like that in the highest level that we've seen out of Harmony tier EU so far.
All right. And last but not least, again, because there's a lot we just don't know yet, is your favorite logo. Apathy, who do you got?
I actually do like the Clueless logo quite a lot, and that's probably why my eye was drawn to them. Something about being named Clueless and just having an orc as your logo is very
Used a
fitting.
confused looking
It
orc.
works. It works
perfect.
so well.
All right, Trey, what about you?
I went with Thunderbolt Rewind. Team we haven't talked about yet, but
Sure.
check out their logo. Read up their
Sure.
roster. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Harmony Tier EU got a lot to learn about from them this season. We really just don't know anything coming in, and it'll be really interesting to see how it pans out. But EU Scrimbucks certainly looking good to start us off. No question about it. Discord tier now. Who's your favorite in the tier? Apathy, who's your favorite?
Like I said, I'm not going to be caught sleeping. I think it's Joey. Once they kind of hit that point where they've scrimmed like 10 times over the season, which usually tends to come around the quarterfinals of playoffs, once they've hit that 10th scrim, they just quadruple in power level, and they're a force to be reckoned with in the playoffs for sure.
God, it's painful how true that is, Trey. What about you?
I went Spuds. I am still sweating from our game. And I think that team has a ton of upwards potential, and they have mentals of steel to back it up. So
I
really
need to
can't
fix
bet
your
against them at this
AC.
point. Yeah, it's my PC, man. My second monitor is also an old TV, so that doesn't help, and it's just bad.
Man,
He's
you
got
played
the CRTV.
competitive.
really
over-
bad.
ready for melee.
You play competitive Overwatch for 3.5 hours, and you just walk away sweating and somehow
It's disgusting.
and even though you win, somehow disappointed, right?
I'm hurt. I come out a worse man than I entered. It's terrible.
It's true. That's Overwatch for you all. We all
There you
came out
go.
worse than when we entered. So, your dark horse team coming out of the tier. Apathy, who you watching?
I think Fenrir. It's kind of weird to be calling them a dark horse now, but I think the roster changes that they've made are interesting, and OC is definitely very talented. It's just can the rest of the team follow up on that ball play of his? But I think they're going to be a competitor.
I think you got to call them a dark horse. Last season's team just wasn't quite there compared to what they were previously. So, Train, what about you?
I went for Firefight for kind of similar reasons that Apathy talked about earlier. You know, they had a pretty good preseason showing, lost the eventual champions, right? And they weren't even playing with what will probably be their final roster. So it's all going up from here, and they're already having good performances. So
I mean,
flying under the radar a bit, I think.
And who was that preseason champion again, Trey?
Apathy, Vix, Polar on Wrecking Ball for the most part, but also Orisa. Yeah, them.
Yeah, Polar on Orisa, that's inspirational. New team you're watching in the Discord tier, Apathy.
I went with Space Created. Just from Chamanzi and Smarties, two very capable GMs. They know a lot about the game, so they're going to put together a good roster. I don't really know too much about any of their players, but it's just kind of with the coaching staff. Not maybe necessarily. I don't know if they're like head coaching it, but with that staff behind them, you got to expect that team to do well.
And Train, who do you got?
I went with Oreo Fleet. Cutest mascot. I'm their number one fan already. I'm number 2 fan. I think they have some number 1 fans on Twitter. So I'll take number 2 or 3.
Early favorite for MVP in the Discord tier, Apathy. What about you?
My pick is Pyro, and I know people will be whining about bias, but he's insane. I'm very honored to be SR anchoring for him, and I mean, I am a very competitive and egotistical person, though I hide it very well. So the fact that he is so good that I bench myself on my own team should say a lot for his talents.
I'm a very egotistical person, but I hide it well. Can we get some X's to doubt in the chat?
Wait, what do you mean?
I'm kidding.
I don't hide it well, or that I'm not egotistical?
I'm just gonna let you wonder.
You're gonna have to stew in that one for a bit.
Have to think
There you
about
go.
that one there, buddy.
Vote now on your phones what you think it is.
Yeah,
Vote now with your
yeah,
Trank
vote
votes.
now in chat, everybody.
There you go. Poll prediction.
Oh man, that was a good one. That was good. I gotta write that one down. All right, that's good. All right, anyways, where was I here?
Slipping that for your
MVP,
Early
right?
MVP favorite, Train. Who do you got?
I went with Glitch. I think
Glitch.
either
Glitch
Glitch or
MVP.
LCS.
Yep.
are really good candidates this season. I think either of them could have won it last season as well, but Asda was a little too good. So I'm still staring at old Rem, man. I love you guys. And Glitch and LCS have adjusted through a lot of different scenarios, and they have tons of results to show it. They played an insane match tonight, so respect to both of them.
I'm starting my official bias campaign for LCS tonight. LCS, the Chilean who plays on 170 ping and somehow still manages to dominate NA lobbies. Just saying. Yes,
Dominate.
Just
Dominating Hawk and Pelican on the ranked ladder.
Vamos LCS. That's all I'm saying.
As long as it's not a DPS.
So as long as not a DPS. We don't want another DPS. All right. Your favorite logo to the tier, Apathy.
Probably Rift or Space Created. You'll probably notice that there's a theme with these anyways.
I'm seeing that with you.
There is a theme.
I can't imagine why. Train, what
Space
about
kind of man, eh?
Yeah, Train, what about you?
Regicide for sure. Very clean logo, awesome name, really well done. I'm an English major, in case you couldn't tell. So yeah, Regicide is my pick for sure. I like the word.
From looking at me.
I'm gonna say this.
I look like an English major, man. I don't know what to say.
I'm gonna say
I talk
this.
like it. I have the mannerisms like it.
That's true.
Man.
I'm gonna say this because Navino's in chat and he just said it. Joey Esports is actually one of my favorite logos of all time because it looks so bad isn't the word, but it's just like it looks so incredibly basic. And
I can't immediately tell what animal it is.
Yes, exactly.
And
When
I
I
like
first
that.
saw it, I wasn't
It's
sure
so
what it
bad.
was. Like I just genuinely didn't know what animal it was. All I could see was just this little black nose and just like yellow orange. And if you had to squint at it, then you can make out other features. It's a baby. Yes, I know it's a baby wombat now, but
Baby wombat, of course,
Yes.
Yeti, you idiot.
yeah, God,
Obviously.
yeah, God.
Like
Somebody's. I just can see the just people like.
Clearly.
The tweets are coming now.
And
Anyway,
you deserve them.
funny.
I
And you
deserve them. Bring it on. Your favorite.
Throw a twit longer at the man.
Trey, did we get your favorite logo too? Or no, we did. You got.
Yeah, I was
you did.
Regicide.
Yeah, you were
I love
Regicide. I'm
them.
sorry. Your favorite team to watch in the tier, Apathy.
Probably the Spuds. They're just fun people. Fun to watch.
Train
It's Spuds, man. I had so much fun watching them tonight. So much fun.
was a lot less fun.
Watching
I'll
it from
probably
first-person
rewatch the match
POV.
tomorrow
Yes.
because I had so much
It'd
fun.
be more fun watching it tomorrow. Yes.
I'll rewatch it.
All right. Transcendence tier. Your favorite in the tier, Apathy. Who do you got?
Hard to not say Decapitators with that roster, but you never know.
Sorry,
What?
something in chat just caught me. Bowsy.
No.
Spuds are fun, but then you see their comm checks clips, and yeah, their comms check clicks are fire, and most of that is thanks to Nova, by the way. Nova is
Their
is
comms checks clips are going to get worse or better, depending on where you stand.
Depends
You're
on
adding
what you
LCS
prefer.
and glitch to that.
yes. There's only going to be at least a few more swear words there. That's for
Yeah.
sure. So a lot more
It's gonna be
bleep.
some Chilean
And they
moments in
didn't
there.
they
I
didn't lose
imagine.
their straight man and teammate.
That's true.
It's going to be pretty good.
Although teammate dropped some bangers for the record, I just want to point that out. So, Train, who's your favorite in the Transcendence tier?
I went decaps as well. You know, too many playmakers on that team to not be excited and not trust their expertise.
All right, who's the dark horse coming out of this tier, Apathy?
I want Orbit. I want it to be Orbit. I think it will be Orbit. They've
I see a
been
theme,
out of the
theme.
league.
I want it. I
No,
want it so bad. Please.
they were also a very good team.
One of the
I
space
believe-
teams needs to be good, please.
I believe they took a break from Trank, but they were around in season 5 and they were always near the top of Transcendence tier. And they have nearly the same roster since then, and I think they've been playing together since then in collegiate, I think, if I'm remembering right from
You
the
are.
lore breakdowns that Cap has given me.
The lore breakdown.
I don't know, they've been playing together like 4 years. I feel like that's got to be a strong roster.
All right, Train, your dark horse team.
Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. I think they got some buzz when their team was first announced because people thought it was novel. But looking through their roster and their performance so far, it's nothing to ignore by any means. So I think they definitely have a lot of potential to surprise some people this season.
New teams, lots of new teams again. Transcendence tier. Who's the new team you're watching here could make an impact as the season goes on?
Probably Uzumaki. I really like. I really like the name and the logo, and they've also got. I think we have scrimmed them, or we've scrimmed another one of Denzel's teams, and Denzel is a very good coach. So I'm looking at Uzumaki.
Train, new team to watch. Who are you picking?
Epizeuxis. You can literally watch them if you go watch some
True.
of our VODs here on the Twitch channel. So I'll be doing that tomorrow as well. I've got 5-6 hours of programming planned for myself.
That's true. It's cool because you can watch them there. But you want to maybe Train. What if somebody has said, you know what, I want to watch some old Train videos. Like I want to go watch season 6 flashbacks and I want to see Train.
No, you don't.
I
No, you
mean,
don't.
that's true. But what if you did? Could you maybe go to YouTube?
You absolutely could, Yeti. You know what? I actually heard that you can do that.
Mhm.
And I've heard that some people have been going through and making sure that everything is labeled correctly and uploaded correctly and archived. So you should definitely head over to our YouTube at Apathy. What's the address? What's the YouTube account?
There's no easy
Oh,
link
fuck.
for it. It's a bunch of random characters because YouTube sucks.
YouTube.com/C/OW Tranquility.
Actually, no,
what
that
the
is
C means.
it's like a weird linking thing. I don't understand it. I don't
know how that works.
I don't
Yeah, I
know.
have
It's
YouTube pulled up because I had to search the song that Polar wants me to tweet about.
It's
YouTube.
YouTube. Yeah, YouTube. Yeah, Bowsy, thank you. If you go subscribe to that YouTube, catch our drops on that one.
Do
There
not
you go.
spam
Well,
the mods if
yes.
some things are still not labeled
Yes.
correctly.
It
Just
takes
send us
literally
send
forever
us a
to go
nice
through
message
that
in
shit.
mod mail, and it will
Yes.
hopefully get
Literally,
fixed.
send a message in
We've
mod
heard
mail.
it before.
Say, here's what's going on, and then say thank you. Okay?
Yes.
Because these people do this for free and they do it for you. So you better say thank you.
Yes, be thankful, plebs. Anyways, yes. Oh, and by the way, on YouTube this season, we'll also be uploading our any of our montages, anything like that. They'll all be uploaded to YouTube this season, so you'll be able to catch those there as well.
Wow.
Yeah, so we'll be putting those there. That'll be nice. That'll be good. Or your early MVP favorites coming out of the Transcendence tier app. Who do you got?
I'm going again, not trying to pick an obvious one, so I'm going Shinobu on Orbit, but he's been a very good DPS previously, and I think someone needs to step into Cosign's shoes, and I'm hoping that can be Shinobu.
And Train, who do you got?
I went with Voltage on decaps. I really like support players this season for whatever reason. But I've heard that Voltage is just some insane DPS player, like 4-2 or 4-3 or something, moving over to, I believe, flex support. I think Nagisa is playing main support. Yeti. Yeah. So yeah, PDK is saying 4-4 for Voltage on DPS. So that seems like a pretty natural transition. So I'm looking forward to what Voltage will be able to take care of.
All right, and favorite logo out of the tier here, Apathy. I have a feeling I know who you're gonna say, and it's not just because I saw it on the thing, but you know.
Yeah, it's Orbit. I kind of copied their logo and then they came back, so that's really awkward.
That's
But
really awkward.
definitely Orbit.
Train, who do you got?
Meraki, I believe that's right. Meraki.
Meraki.
Really nice, like kind of peach. I really like the colors. It's really soothing. Kind of meditative in a way.
Very, very nice.
I'll do Uzumaki if people are getting sick of it, because that is a great short story, and I like the spiral theme is very well done.
Yes. Oh, and by the way, if there's a logo that you have that is not on the Tranquility store, not our fault. It's because the logo is probably infringing on some copyrights and can't put those onto the store by our storefront's request. So, your favorite team to watch in Transcendence tier Apathy?
So far out of what we've seen, I'm gonna give it to Epizeuxis. I don't normally like watching brawl or rush teams, but when you go that fast, you got to admire it.
Epic Zoo Kiss, Apathy. Good pick
What?
there.
I K is that hard? I thought it was Epizookus.
I thought it was Zooks.
Epizooks?
Epizooxis?
Epizooks? No, it's Epizookus. Trust me, I know
Where is
what
the
I'm doing.
first K coming from? Epic Zeus?
Yeah.
I'm making it up. I'm trolling right now.
Oh, all right. Well, you got me. So
yes.
I have been-
sorry.
Team EpiPen.
Team EpiPen. There you go.
Hold aboard your ruse cruise.
All right, and Shrain, who is your favorite team to watch?
I went with Devil Dukes. They are kind of annoying in trans chat sometimes. Thankfully, I can't see that anymore, so good for
I
me.
can.
But they have some fun personalities, right? Watching their streams, they tell some jokes, they have some fun. It's kind of what Overwatch is about, so they're fun to watch.
And now they've gotten.
And there you go. I said Devil Dukes.
You
on
said
podcast,
Devil Dukes.
Okay?
It will be the one time
Never
Devil
again.
Dukes. Yeah, never
You're
again.
They
done.
helped us. They also helped us warm up today. So
They did. They did.
That was
I
nice.
appreciate that. That's nice.
Never again will the Devil Dukes be mentioned.
Warm up game. What can I say?
Well, that is the end of our lightning round, guys. There's a lot of content coming at you this season on this Iris podcast. Before we get into our final bit here, which is the matches of the week, I did put this out of the order on the outline, just so you guys know if you're on the outline. Yeah. Anyways, so a couple things for you guys here. There's a lot of content coming at you on the Iris podcast this season. We will have our weekly play montages. We will have our comms checks. Make sure you're submitting clips for that, guys. Go into the Discord, take a look there. They're in the podcast section, instructions on how to submit your clips for that. You're going to want to get that content in. We'd love to feature you guys on the podcast as well. In addition to that, we'll also have other analysts coming in here. It won't just be Train and Apathy every week. You'll have others coming in. You'll have NRFT. You'll have Navino. You're going to have Thuggington. You're going to have BethCon. You're going to have, as well as my memory is just disappearing right now, and I am so sorry to the rest. You're going to have Thor coming in here. And then last but certainly not least is my really old age memory. You're going to have Nagisa coming in as well, bringing you guys some Iris podcast action all season long. And also, we have our other programs. That's right. Our other programs are returning this season. Predicting Tranquility is making a triumphant return with Bowsy at the helm. You're going to have Bowsy taking that program, and that's going to air after the Iris podcast, which is airing normally on Mondays at 9 o'clock Eastern time, but tonight was a little different for reasons. Normally that'll be Monday night after the Iris podcast. You'll have Bowsy bringing you Predicting Tranquility, where we predict every single score in every single Trank match for that week. And then last but not least as well is The Beat Drop. The Beat Drop is our interview show where we take time to interview members of the community, talk about their experiences here in Tranquility, and talk about themselves as well. If you're interested in being a part of The Beat Drop, make sure to fill out the sign-up sheet that was listed in announcements in our Discord. And you guys would love to feature you on that and get your opportunity to get your face out there to the community. And last but certainly not least, as a reminder, we have our weekly giveaways every week on the Iris podcast, other than this week. You will, yes, you are required to have a webcam, just like the rules on say. It's all in the form. If it says it's required, it is required. Mm-hmm. That is what the form says. So, we will have our weekly drawings on the Iris podcast. The way you earn points is just by watching the streams. You don't even have to actively watch. You can just have it on in the background. You go to there's a little icon below the chat. You'll see there's a little looks like a little Tranquility logo all in gold. That is your Trank Bucks. Every 1,000 Trank Bucks you earn, you can enter for a giveaway entry. The giveaway entry will get you into a drawing each week. Each week we will at minimum do a drawing for a t-shirt of choice from the merch store. It's t-shirt of your choice. Any t-shirt you want. That is up to you if and when you win. We also have other giveaways throughout the season. We do Amazon gift cards. We do all sorts of things. Big money gift cards coming out, and there's potential some other fun stuff this season. Maybe NPC will just donate 50 pounds of beef jerky. He has that.
There you go. I don't know if
I'm
anyone
just
wants
saying.
that, but hey, go for
He
it.
has that.
It seems
mean,
like
does it
it's
go
more of a
bad?
stress in his life. I don't know.
It's true. It's true.
Does beef jerky go bad?
No,
You know,
not really.
Then I mean, I don't know.
Not really.
I
Eventually,
wouldn't
but
want
not
it.
really.
I will never wear anything blue to earn it, but
if
I
you
mean,
dry it well enough, if you
beef
dry
jerky's nice.
if you dry it well enough, does it ever go bad? That's the real question. I don't know. But
I
guys,
don't know
we
either.
have.
You're the Midwestern here.
It's true. While our meat is dried here because we have to prepare for the ice cold winters.
True.
All right, guys. That is about it for all of the stuff again this season. Reminder: we have 4 broadcasts a week matches as well, guys. Just tune in. You're not going to want to miss any of this. It just gets better and better here. Plus, there's just so much more, and we'll announce it as it comes, guys. It's going to be a hell of a season this season. You're not going to want to miss a single thing. I promise you that. And that is pretty much it, other than our final bit, which is our matches to watch this week. These are the matches that we as podcast analysts are most excited about seeing this season this week in Tranquility. And we'll start off with Apathy. What is your match to watch?
I'm going with Doodles versus Galactic Penguins. I think Penguins are looking to prove that, I'm sure they feel a little bit underrated. I think they're looking to prove that they didn't reach preseason finals from some flukes with Fire Breathing's roster and just show that they are really a top contender. And I think Doodles wants to prove that they deserve their win against KK. Although, as some may have noticed, they did have to forfeit that match due to a Smurf. But I think they definitely want to prove that they did not win that match because of that unfortunate player on their team, and they're going to want to solidify themselves as the top team as well.
Did you say your score prediction for that?
I think it will be a close, long match, and I am gonna throw out a Doodles 3-2. We'll see what happens.
Train, who do you got for your feature or your match to watch?
I realized that I put myself in a position where I have to say the D words again, so I'm sorry. That's on me for that.
They should have just
Making
waited to
promises
the
I
end.
can't keep.
They
That's
should
on
have
me.
waited to the end to complain.
Sure.
But
They should have waited to the end because God, all we've been talking about is them.
I can't stop. I can't stop myself.
Mhm.
But I picked Devil Dukes versus Throwing Her Bad. From that group, like we talked about earlier, probably 2 of the 3 or 4 favorites there. So I would expect a very close match that actually, believe it or not, will probably already have significant implications for the end of stage 1 and the rest of the season. So I picked Devil Dukes 3-1. So I don't know how much Throwing Her Bad has turned the gas up yet.
My match to watch this week is Regicide versus the Kawaka Queens. And the reason is because it's a team called Regicide taking on a team with the word Queens in the name. I feel like that's just a given. The theme there is just awesome.
Real royalty is Queen
Real,
crying.
yeah. I mean, it's just Regicide versus the Quokka. It just makes sense. But I'm picking Quokka here 3-1. I think it's going to be real good. I see a lot of people, by the way, talking about Smurfs, and I just want to highlight this because it's something that we're talking about a lot in the staff. Guys, we've had a lot of incidents with Smurfs this preseason. There's no question about it. It's been a busy one for us as staff. We've caught a few things. We've taken care of it. I see a lot of people who are commenting like, man, like, why do people do this? Like, here's the deal, guys. In the end, the most important thing for us as tournament administrators is integrity. It's integrity. And if you're going to cheat, and if you're going to be okay with cheating, really you're part of the problem too. Like, I see a lot of people who are like saying like, why would they narc on my team? Oh, they're only doing that because they lost. No, because you cheated. Like, I love when I hear these things, people saying like, oh, you only got angry because you lost. No, you cheated. Win or lose, integrity is everything, and it's all we have in tournaments like this. So if you're going to make a big deal and whine about your opponents when they catch you cheating, or if you're going to whine about Trank staff punishing you for cheating, you're part of the problem. And quite frankly, I don't want you here. just speaking as a staff, and that's just me personally. I don't speak on behalf of Tranquility, but you all got to remember integrity is everything in these tournaments. It's an SR tiered tournament, and it's free. There's no prizing for winning. What do you get out of cheating? Is your ego so fragile that you need to cheat? I just don't understand it. Random
It's a lot
fourth,
of-
random
It's a lot of
fourth,
like. Oh, sorry.
a random 4-3 guy joining up with the team and just ego on some people, I guess. Is that cool for you? Is that fun for you? That's great. That's special. Anyways, you were saying?
It's a lot of like mental gymnastics. That's like, oh, I do have an account that's in Diamond, but it's okay. I actually play like a 2-8 player. Like I'm not really smurfing.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna hide this account and it'll be fine because I'm not even that good.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
My
There's
main's
no gymnastics.
my main's DPS ranking is 1500, but I swear I'm at least a diamond level DPS. I swear it.
It's your team, man. I'm telling
it's
you.
just
these
my team.
teams these
It's my
days
team.
are
It's-
terrible.
That's the reverse of what I said.
What? But in all seriousness, guys, integrity is everything for us.
Yeah.
And we see a lot of people making comments about Smurfs and things like that. I just want to highlight it's important to us, and we're doing everything we can on our side, but it takes a lot of people to make sure that we get these people out of this tournament because, quite frankly, we don't want them here. And if you're going to be one of the teams who are saying things like, oh, you know, we're bitter, we're salty because we got caught, or why are only certain people reporting Smurfs? Well, everybody should. So it's integrity. Everything's important about integrity is everything in a tournament like this. So we hope you guys can help us out as we continue to try to make this tournament the best there is in this scene. So we appreciate you guys being a part of that and making it happen for us. Just as a reminder, everybody, that is our last broadcast for this week. We'll be back again on Monday with our first episode of Predicting Tranquility. I believe that will be at 9 Eastern, if I remember correct, Bowsy. I don't have it written down here, and I apologize for that. But that one is going to air earlier than normal. It'll be at 9 o'clock Eastern on Monday. So, yep, there we go. 9 o'clock Eastern. Thank you, Bowsy. And then on Tuesday, we kick off the season in the Harmony Tier EU and in the Harmony Tier NA, both on that Tuesday. And those matches are going to be between, of course, me being prepped and writing them down. Was very smart and very talented of me.
Incredibly talented. So talented.
The talent is off the hook. You have A10 Esport and Orthus, and you also have Boop taking on Luminous Foxes in the NA. So it should be a lot of fun, guys. You're not going to want to miss these first matches of the season. But that is it. That is the end of tonight's podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in on this very late After Dark edition of the Iris Podcast. For Train and Apathy, 2 of your Discord tier preseason champions, I am Mr. Yeti. We appreciate you gazing into the iris with us tonight, and we'll see you again soon.
Experience tranquility. Pass into the iris.